Today I'm with John Jones down here at the Virginia Sheriff's Association conference here in Virginia Beach. It's almost like a hurricane outside right now, John, but we're still inside. We're dry and having a good time.
Well, we're almost dry. We got water backing up in a couple of places, but we'll get through it. And we're excited to have a wonderful conference. We've got a record number of people, a record number of exhibitors, and all 6 statewide candidates are going to be there to talk to the sheriffs.
That's
be
good.
Here with us.
Well, we were talking a little bit before we got started. When I first started as sheriff in Shenandoah County, with the legacy media, we met, I know every week, there were 4 newspapers that covered Shenandoah County and 1 TV station and a couple radio stations. And you had weekly contact with all of those media outlets to the point that, you almost knew from the reporters and the outlet itself what stories were important to them. Some stories are important to everybody, but some are, certain things are more important on this end and that end. But I guess my point is, then we got involved in social media, I guess maybe 2009, 2010. And as legacy media has kind of gone to the wayside, like right now we only have 2 newspapers that cover the county and 1 television station. So that's diminished. And the other thing is with young reporters and people that the mobility between people that work for these organizations, you have different people there, it seems like about every 6 months to a year. So we started doing our own thing. And I find that communicating directly with the public is good. And we're hoping this week we can have some sheriffs come in here and talk about what's important in their communities and put that information out so they get direct communication with their constituents. So I appreciate you letting us come up here and do this week.
It's quite an addition to our conference. We appreciate you being here. I know the sheriffs are excited about you being here. I've heard comments from a number of them that were looking forward to participating, and they can take back home a product that will build communication between them and their constituents.
And for people that don't know, John mentioned a little bit ago, we hold these, the Sheriff's Association conference annually, and there's training that sheriffs get, that their staff get, that they can get credit for through the Department of Criminal Justice Services. There's also opportunities to talk to statewide candidates, because from our perspective, from sheriff's perspectives, we want to know where statewide candidates are with regard to issues that affect sheriffs and affect public safety in our communities.
Exactly. What we do is try to expose the statewide candidates to the sheriffs and the sheriffs to them. We've got Republican candidates for Attorney General, Lieutenant Governor, and Governor, and the Democratic candidates for Attorney General, Lieutenant Governor, and Governor, all appearing at the conference. They each get 20 minutes to speak, and they're going to deliver what, their thoughts on public safety. Right. We've also done a survey for the candidates, and that's been distributed to everyone. And it's talking about things that are pretty important to our members, including qualified immunity.
Right.
And in this case, both candidates have said they would veto a bill that took away qualified immunity. So we feel good about that. There are other questions that we felt were important to ask and get an answer, and that is, would they oppose any cuts to sheriff's offices? Mm-hmm. We've got cuts on the way. We've got a reduction in budgets of the state budget, with the General Assembly has already signaled that we're going to be losing, the state being we're going to be losing hundreds of millions of dollars in federal money, and they're going to be looking to make it up from existing programs. So it's pretty important that we get commitments from the governors not to cut our budget, and they both agreed to that. Mm-hmm. So we may have knocked a bigger home run than we think, given this fiscal situation that we're getting ready to face next year in the General Assembly.
One of the other things, a lot of people, I don't think they understand, John, but there are city sheriffs here with just court services responsibilities or jail responsibilities. There are county sheriffs here with court and law enforcement. Some sheriffs run their own jails. I know I did in the beginning of my career. But you have a variety of sheriffs throughout the Commonwealth of Virginia. You have to work within, the constructs of what's out there, what's needed, and it's not an easy thing to make sure that we're all on the same page, but we all are sheriffs, and some things that that we may deal with that may be something that's a city issue is still dealing with a sheriff in a rural county like me. So it's something that I can't say enough about you and your staff and the leadership of the Virginia Sheriff's Association to understand that we have to get through those things together. And I think as we go through all of these issues, whether budgetary issues or policy issues or legislative issues, that we're all together trying to get to public safety throughout the Commonwealth.
Well, the diversity of our sheriffs, I'll talk a little bit about that. You've got city sheriffs. We've got a sheriff in Virginia that got elected by more people than the governors in 8 states. Think about that. I mean, sheriff in Fairfax County, 1 million people up there, and gets elected. That's pretty strong. Then you've got sheriffs in more rural areas that have 1,500, 2,000 population. That is a strength.
Right.
And the reason it's a strength is because everyone in Virginia has a sheriff. Right. Everyone. Not everyone has a police department. Not everyone has a police chief, but everyone has a sheriff, including the 6 statewide candidates. And 3 of them are going to win. And each one of those candidates, when they become the office holder, will have a sheriff. And they all know their sheriffs. And so it depends on how the ball is rolling during that term. But right now, we've got a governor that has a close relationship with rural sheriffs. And next time we may have a governor that has a close relationship with rural sheriffs, or may not, may have a close relationship with Democratic sheriffs. So the teamwork is what's so important.
Right.
And we view the diversity as a strength that no one else has that I'm aware of.
Right. Well, again, John, I really appreciate the time, and we're going to try to meet with some sheriffs this week and have a good conference. I appreciate it.